So this video, we're going to take on, at this point, you should have a robot. It's built, and the wires are hooked up to the motors, B and C. And then you should have a USB cable to plug it in. So the first step today is you're going to take your robot, and you are going to turn it on. You should hear a beep. No, this one doesn't beep when it turns on, but it's now on, and the robot's powered on. Then you plug it into USB. And we can hear Windows is doing its thing and loading up the drivers for this. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you need to find the software that runs and programs our robots. So to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go over here to the Start menu. You can actually pull that up by pressing the Windows button on your keyboard. And then you're going to type in NXT. Now look up here. Two of them are going to come up. One of them is NXT programming. That's what we want. The other one is data logging. That's not what we want. Don't use that one. Use the programming one, NXT 2.1 programming, and click on it. Takes a minute to load up, so be patient. So now it's finally loaded up. First thing I would do is maximize it so you can see all of the window. Okay, now that I have the window maximized, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to make a new file for every table. That way you can save it and get done with one and then work on a different one before. And then at the end, I'll ask you to pull them all up. And if you have them all saved, you can show me and get your grade for these tables. Right down here in the bottom, you're going to type a name. Mine's going to be called Table 1, because I'm working on Table 1 today. There's 5 tables total. Don't everybody start on Table 1 because you'll have to wait in line. Instead, choose a different table, and it doesn't matter which one you start with. I'm going to choose Table 1 because it's a smaller table that you can see easier on the camera. Okay, cool. So this pops up. This thing is the starter. Now look, these are the move blocks. This is the only one we're going to use. Be careful. If I put the move block out here, doesn't do anything. See how it's all dim and you can barely see it? If I move it and connect it to the start, now it's brighter and it actually is going to do something for us. So first thing first, we're going to connect it. And what it does is it just goes down the line. The first thing that's connected, it does that first. So this is our first one. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try something different today. Do yourself a favor and then go here. See this one that has an hourglass? And you're going to go to time, and we want it to wait. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to wait 1 second after you press the button for you to get your finger out of the way before it starts moving, okay? Now, and you'd only need to do that once. Put out the first move block. Now, let's take a look and see what that does. When I have the wait block selected, there's some options. Look what happens when I click on the move block and have that highlighted. Okay. Let's look and see these things. The good news is, if you've set your robot up correctly, you don't have to change most of these things. Ports B and C. Your motor should be wired to B and C. Direction, we want to go forward. Leave that alone. Hey, I don't care how many times. I could say this 100 times in the video, and I think there's still some people who will never listen to me because they think that this adjusts how far your robot turns. It doesn't. It adjusts how sharp it turns. For today's assignment, you either keep it straight ahead, all the way left, or all the way to the right. Don't put it in between here. So it's right straight ahead, all the way left, or all the way right. Nothing else for today's assignment. First things first, I want you to turn the power down to 50. We don't want speed, we want accuracy, and the robots are better if you slow them down a little bit. So for everything we do, turn the power down to 50, and we want to time it in seconds. How many seconds is it going to move? Now for the first one, I'm just going to take a guess on it. I have no idea if this is right or not. I'm going to guess 2 seconds. Okay? And then I'm going to leave it on brake. We want it to brake at the end. We don't want it to coast to rolling stop. Now we need to set up, before we upload this to your robot, see, you got to send this program, compile it, and send it to your robot's microcontroller. So what you're going to do is, you see this one that's over here, this button? Click on that, and then what this is going to do is it's going to bring up your robot if it's connected. See, I've had a bunch of them connected, but you see this one here, it says Jeremy. What you do first of all is, I want to change it to Mr. W. Mr. W, and then you click this little button. And now what will happen is on the screen of your robot, it'll say your name on it. Mine will say Mr. W right on the screen. That way, if you have a robot laying around, you can tell whose it belongs to. Okay, next thing, go to memory up here. Hey, people, you don't want to be digging through everybody else's programs, the people who used it before you. So go to Program and then go to Delete All and press OK. What that'll do is it'll make sure that any program you're running is the right one that you want to run, not someone else's. You know, if your robot starts doing way different things than you program it to, you might be running the wrong file. Okay, the last part I'm going to do is, you see this button that says it's a down arrow? That means download. Down arrow is download. Now, if you didn't hear that, let me do that again. You hear the beep? When the robot gets the data, it beeps. At this point, we're going to unplug our USB cable, and I'm going to pause the video, and I'll see you guys over at the table. We're going to try out and see if 2 seconds is too far or if it's not enough. Let's find out, okay? Okay, so now here we are at our table, and I have my robot set up. I have this wire going C to this motor and B to this motor. Okay, first things first is I want to line it up straight on this first. See where it says start? You're going to put your axles right where it says start, and make sure it's pointing exactly in the same direction. And remember, what was my guess? My guess was I want this thing to run for 2 seconds at 50% speed, and if I'm lucky, it's going to stop with the axles right over this point. So that line right there. Okay, so let's try it out. Software files, and then hey, there it is, table 1. Because I deleted all that other junk off of there, I don't have to worry about clicking on the wrong one. Okay, so did you see the 1 second delay, how it waited for me to get my finger out of the way? That's good. Now let's take a look and see exactly where that was. Uh-oh, my axles were actually right up here. So is 2 seconds, do I need to make it less or more?
Less.
Less, but probably not 1 second. Because think about it, if this is 2 seconds, half of it would only go this far in 1 second. So I'm going to guess, let's see, 1.5 would be about right here. Now, do you see how we learn from our mistakes? We don't just go, oh, it didn't work, and then give up, and then, you know, whatever, just try some random number. I use my brain. I say 2 seconds was here, half of that would be here, 1.5 would be about right. I'm going to try 1.6. Is that correct? There's only one way to find out, right? The point of this project is I should see you walking back and forth to your computer again and again and again and again, okay? Do you see me? Now look at my eyes. Do you see a bunch of tears running down because I didn't get it right? Oh no, I'm stupid, I didn't get it. No. The way that we do things in this class is we do tuning. You try it, you try a different number. You tune it up until it stops just where you want it. Okay, so let's pause. Okay, so let's change that number to 1.6 on the computer. So 1.6 seconds. Oh, and I always forget to do this, but you have to plug your robot again. Plug it in and download the program. You hear the beep and we're ready to go. So I'm going to pause this and I'll see you guys back at the table yet again. Okay, so we're back. 2 seconds was way too far. Hey, do you notice how I take my time lining it up? If I'm going to make it exact, what if I line it up different every time? It's going to be different when it ends, so I want to line it up the same every time. Okay? 1 second. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. We're right on that line. Now what I'm going to do is teach you how to do the second step. What we need to do is institute a sharp turn. You remember how I told you only to turn it to the far left or the far right? Let me show you what that means now so that you can understand why we want to keep it extreme sharp turns. Okay, if we put it like halfway in between, what happens, the robot does a big arcing curve, and it's very difficult to keep it on the tape. Wouldn't it be easier if we could just take it one step at a time? First we get done with forward. We get it exactly where we want it. Then we go back and we do a sharp turn where it turns without moving, meaning it turns like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I think it should turn for 3 seconds in a sharp turn. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to find out, is 3 seconds too long of a turn or too short of a turn? So how do you tune the turns? Do you turn it by turning less or more? No. The turns are always sharp. In this case, we're going to have a sharp right turn, and I'm going to try it out. Now, I don't know. I'm going to guess it's going to go for 1 second on the turn. Let's go try that out on the computer, okay? Okay, so now we're going to try a turn, and the turn is just like the move. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a 1 second delay after everything so it stops, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move right into our turn. So here's how you do a turn. You bring out the same exact block. Let's go ahead and set it for 50%. We're going to change it to seconds. My guess was 1 second. Now, this is what we need to do. That was a right turn. Don't adjust your turns with this. Keep this one all the way. How you're going to adjust your turn is how long it turns for. So if you put a 1 there, it's not going to turn as much as if you put a 3 there. Because a 3 second turn takes longer, so it's going to turn more. Okay, of course, we need to plug our robot in. And we're going to download. Okay, again, we have a sharp right turn, 50% speed, 1 second long. I don't know if that's right, but again, this is guess and check type of work. So let's download. Okay, we got our beep, and we're ready to go. So I'll see you at the table. Okay, so here we are, we're back. We've got this was 1.6, I think it was, and now we've put a turn, and my guess was 1 second. I don't know if that's long enough or not long enough, we'll see. Did that turn too much or too little?
Too much.
So it went past where it was and then kept going. Now let's take a look. Again, we're not going to just say, oh, that was terrible. Let's just randomly guess something else. Let's use our brains a little bit. Let's think about this turn. This turn it started here, so this would be a 0 second turn, right? It would face this way because it wouldn't turn at all. Our robot ended up turning this way. I think if we go maybe half or 0.6, so like I'm going to try 0.5 for 1/2 second turn, okay? I don't know if that's going to be correct or not. We have to guess and check and try it. Okay, go ahead and pause. So we're back, and 1 second was way too much, and we thought it was about twice as much as we needed, so we changed it to 0.5 seconds. And we're going to, again, I keep forgetting to plug it in. We're going to plug in our robot, download. We got the beep, and we're ready to go. Let's go back to the table and try that one out. Pause. Okay, we're back. We're going to try our little 1/2 second turn. 1 second delay. 1.6. Ooh, pretty good.
Yep.
So we've got this thing facing a little, oh, you know what? If you want to know how it's going to go, just drag it in the direction. Now look at this. You know what? I don't really care for that. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to change to 0.6. Okay, go ahead and pause. Okay, so we're back. I've plugged my robot in this time. And if you're getting discouraged now because you've seen me try it a couple times and I didn't get it right, that's exactly how this project is supposed to go. We try it, and if it doesn't work, it's no big deal. We just change it. So we're going to change it to 0.6, and I'm going to download that again and pause the video. Ready? Okay, so we're trying the turn at 0.6. That looks a lot better. Now, if I went straight forward, that's going to be exactly where I want it to go. Okay, so let's talk about how, I'm not going to do any more of this because I think I've shown you the two main focuses. One, we have, or three. One, we have 1 second delay. You can use that on every turn if you want. That's up to you. I only do it at the start to get my finger out of the way when I press the button. I showed you how to do straight forward, and I showed you how to do a right turn. We always keep our turn sharp. We don't control the turn by using the slider. How do we control it? I can't stress this enough. You control the turn by keeping the slider all the way right or left, and you change the numbers. So 1 became 0.5. That wasn't enough, so it became 0.6. Let's talk about how many you should have. When you're done, you should have 7 move blocks. Let's talk about that. 1, 2 for the turn. 3, 4 for the turn. 5, 6 for the turn, and 7. And when you get done, your robot needs to stop on that tape. When I grade these, it's real simple. I'll give you some leeway on making little mistakes, but if your robot ever goes all the way off with both wheels that are outside of the tape, then we'll say, hey, probably need to fix it and try again. So that's what your mission is. We have table 1, table 2, 3, 4, and 5 that you can do today. This is just the starting table, but listen, if everybody starts on this is one I started on. But everybody should start a different one so you're not waiting in line to try it out. If I see a line here, I'm going to say, hey, try that one later. Go to a different table, okay? Now remember, don't get discouraged. And hey, take things one step at a time. Don't put out 3 blocks and try to do them all at once. What did I do? Even though it was annoying and I had to go back and forth a bunch of times, I did one thing at a time and got it perfect, and then I add another block. By the time you're done, you should have 8 blocks total. 1 for the 1 second delay and 7 movement blocks. 4 straightaways and 3 turns. Hey guys, good luck and happy hunting on your programming.